Welcome to the Just Live podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Stevens, and I'm inviting you in on my personal journey of learning and discovering how to live a life with more connection, joy, and purpose. I'll be sitting down with people from all walks of life to dive into topics including trauma, mental health, mindfulness, the nuances of love and relationships, and much more. I hope these conversations empower you to expand on what serves you, release what doesn't, and just live. Alrighty, I hope we are recording. Anywho, welcome back to the Just Live podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Stevens. Here we are, another solo episode. It's been a while. I felt like I had to take a little bit of a spring break / hiatus from the podcast. I just couldn't give it my attention. The attention that it deserved the last couple of weeks. Real estate has been kind of busy, and it's also like we're transitioning to summer, and I want to just get out and enjoy life sometimes. So before we jump into today's episode, I want to briefly talk about one of our sponsors, the first sponsor of the Just Live podcast, Jimmy's Famous Meals. So Jimmy's Famous Meals is a meal delivery service that was crafted and created by Jimmy's Famous Seafood Restaurant, which is located here in Baltimore. So they are chef-prepared meals that are ready to heat and eat in minutes. They have over 150 menu options, and you can even customize your meals based on dietary restrictions, gluten-free, dairy-free, all of that stuff. I am so busy with work and surviving abuse from this cat that I don't really have time to cook. I'm always on the go, and it's really nice to have meals that I can just heat up that taste amazing. I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean, and I work from home a lot too. So, for a while I was cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, cooking dinner. I'm like, this is ridiculous. All I'm doing is standing in my kitchen, cooking and cleaning. So these meals are fantastic. They taste amazing. The first time I ever tried them was actually a month or two ago when I did that breathwork workshop with the guest on the previous episode, Michael Roviello. Jimmy's was sponsoring that event, and I got to try the meals firsthand, and they're incredible and delicious, super fresh. So if you're interested in trying some home delivery meals that taste great and are very affordable, go to jimmysfamousmeals.com and use promo code Olivia25 for 25% off your first order. Snaps for the podcast, getting a sponsor. The cat does not care. I feel like last time I was kind of on here talking about dating, things like that. For anyone that's new and jumping on, I've been in like a 1.5 year long kind of healing journey from a breakup, moving, kind of starting fresh, right, Mr. B? So I wanted to talk a little bit about that because it's been a minute since I found out my ex cheated on me, moved out of the house that we bought, moved back home with my parents, was like grieving, healing. 10 months later, moved into my own place again, kind of starting life over, 33 years old now. And I felt like I was anticipating kind of the grief process once I moved to wrap up. And it did not. It felt like I hit new waves, new blocks, sadness, darkness, all these different things came up. And it was a really long, hard, scary, tumultuous winter that I was not anticipating. And I'm feeling a lot better, thank God. But I got to thinking kind of about the breakup and the grieving process and the stories that I've kind of been telling myself, and how stories that we do tell ourselves can keep us stuck in the very process that we're trying to heal from. And I know I've talked before about how important it is to feel what you're feeling in order to kind of move through, what you're feeling and what's happening and the circumstances that you're in. But I feel like I've come to realize it's really important to be in the driver's seat of the thoughts that are coming up with the feelings that are coming up, to make sure you aren't getting stuck in a story that's keeping you in this kind of grieving loop. So, for example, just the idea of grieving in itself, if I'm continuously telling myself, I'm sad, I'm stuck, I'm grieving, this is awful, I'm going to keep feeling those things. And that's going to illustrate my life and what I experience and what I'm feeling and what comes up for me. I think what's been important for me is to really navigate the nuance of allowing myself to feel and grieve, but then also taking charge and control of where I want to go each and every day. That way, I'm not stuck in this loop, in the grief, in the sadness, and I'm continually kind of finding my way out of that circle. Because if you don't, you're going to just stay stuck in that. It's almost like the story that you're telling can become this self-fulfilling prophecy. And if I keep telling myself, I'm so sad from this breakup, I'm so devastated that I was cheated on, I feel like I have to start my life over, then that's going to be my reality. And I'm going to keep experiencing those feelings and those thoughts. And that's going to keep creating what is happening in my life. I'm not going to see anything else differently because I've got this tunnel vision that I'm grieving, I'm grieving, I'm grieving. Okay, it's okay to grieve. What else are you doing? And having to kind of clear the lens a little bit. What else do you see? What else is happening? Why are you continually telling the story of your grief? Tell another story. What else are you experiencing? I think too, so many times, for instance, with a breakup or a loss or a separation or a divorce or anything, we're always pulling out everything that we've lost and all of, the hurt and the anger and the sadness. And we're not looking at everything that we've gained or every positive from the experience. And we're not celebrating. I think as much as you're grieving and as much sadness as you allow yourself to experience, you have to allow just as much celebration and gratitude and thanks and appreciation for the experience and now what you get to take away and what you get to experience now that you're no longer in that situation or now that you no longer are a part of that relationship and all the opportunity that you have at this point moving forward. So that way you're not stuck in the grief cycle. And I think as we all know, like grief comes in waves. So you might feel really sad one day and you can't feel as much gratitude or appreciation for where you are now and what you're able to take away from the circumstances. But just remembering that you have a choice and agency in the lens that you're viewing your life from, and the thoughts that you use and the framework is up to you. And that is going to influence and change what you see and what you experience. So I realized I felt like for a while I was just kind of stuck on this merry-go-round of feeling so sorry for myself. And I'm like, I got to get off this loop because this is just keeping me here. I'm allowing myself to feel these things, but then I'm getting swept away by the story. I'm getting stuck and I'm identifying way too much with what has happened, which is in the past. And I'm not identifying at all with who I am now and what is to come and who I can become and what future Olivia has in store. And I think that's so important for people to understand and to remember when you're going through a process like that or you're going through a breakup. Like, what stories do you keep telling yourself? Are you continually overthinking the past? Are you thinking, how could scenarios be different? Are you replaying conversations in your mind or wishing you could have said this or you could have done that? I think there's such an emotional and psychological impact when you aren't continually reevaluating. Like, you're the author. As cheesy as it sounds, you're the author of the story. So sure, you can talk about the past and that is a part of who you are now, but you have to keep writing the story. Are you going to keep writing it through the perspective of the past? You're not living in it. So why do you keep talking about it? Why do you keep writing your current story from past perspective and what you've been feeling and experiencing in the past. Every single day is a brand new day. You don't have to feel how you felt yesterday. So why don't you feel differently today? Why don't you make a choice to try and feel differently today and tell a different story and not live in the past tense? I think when this happens, it really keeps you obviously stuck, but you're like in a box. You can't see outside of yourself. You can't see the possibilities and the potential in the future, and you're limiting what you're able to attract and experience, and you won't actually ever be able to heal from it because you're just spinning your wheels in the same yucky mud of what you're feeling, when you have the ability to shift gears and get out, get unstuck. So for me specifically, just being so caught up and swept up in how I'm like the victim in the circumstances of being cheated on and how dare he do that to me, and then getting stuck in the story of, well, I guess I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be good enough for anyone. No one will choose me. And getting out of that mindset has been really important for me. Instead of continuing the narrative that, oh, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, deciding that no, I am worthy, I am lovable. There will be somebody out there that will cherish me, that will respect me, that is secure in themselves. I think when you've gone through something traumatic or painful, it's really hard to get out of the kind of the limiting mindset and the survival mindset. And I think that's why we always focus on the negative and the pain that we're feeling, because it's just like a protective mechanism, maybe in a sense, or it's like we do attach to it and it gives us some sort of meaning, even though it's awful and painful and it's keeping us stuck. It gives us some meaning. It gives us something to identify with. I think a lot of times when we are grieving, like I know I've mentioned before, there's like no timeline. And I realized that with this breakup, I was feeling a lot longer than I thought I would feel things. But then, as time went on, I was like, well, how much of an active role am I taking in this healing process? Am I actively healing? Am I just feeling sorry for myself? Like, what am I really doing to keep moving forward? Yes, I wanted to allow myself grace and compassion and to feel what I wanted to feel, but also realizing, am I keeping myself stuck in this? Because it feels like I kind of am. So, yeah, there has to be a shift in mindset. So being able to identify the thoughts and the patterns that are keeping you stuck and starting to implement new thoughts, new patterns, that's really important. I know for me, journaling and writing down what I want to feel has been super critical in me being able to like interrupt the unhealthy thought patterns and the negative thought patterns. Writing down like how I want to feel, who I want to be, even if I don't feel that entirely in the moment, I'll write down how I want to feel. And I think that moves the needle and shifts things in a positive direction for me. I also recently discovered that regulating your nervous system has a lot to do with like getting in your body. You can journal and have talk therapy. That is very helpful. But I think actually being able to calm my nervous system and regulate what's happening in my body and move negative energy out has been incredibly important. Your emotions live within your body. Everything is energy. So I've realized moving my body, doing somatic work has really helped me. Yoga, stretching, somatic exercises to move the body in conjunction with like guided meditations. Those have all been really helpful for me, I think, to keep things moving, to continue to facilitate healing and moving forward. But I think the most important part is start telling the story that you want to live in. Are you telling the story of the current present moment? Am I currently being cheated on? No. Am I currently in a relationship that isn't fulfilling? No. Am I currently stuck somewhere where I don't want to be? Am I currently ignoring my needs for the sake of other people's happiness? No, none of those things are true. So why am I still circling in all of that and grieving it? This is the present moment. And what are you experiencing right now? What do you get to experience every day? Tell yourself that story. What is the story of today going to be? Do you want to sit and cry and grieve, or do you want to enjoy everything that life has to offer? Enjoy the beautiful moments with friends and family. Enjoy the sunsets. Enjoy the walks. Enjoy the glass of wine. Enjoy the music. Enjoy kissing a stranger. Enjoy it. Why am I going to keep spinning and sifting and swimming through all the stuff that's not even happening anymore? It's done. It's over. Door shut. Closed. New story. So start telling yourself the story of the present moment and start celebrating everything that you have here. If you still need to continue to grieve and process, that's okay. But also celebrate and appreciate everything that's in front of you, everything that's ahead of you. So that's my reminder to everyone out there that's going through some shit. I love you, and I hope that you can see all the beautiful love and light within yourselves. That's the cheesiest thing I think I've ever said, but it's true. So thank you for listening. If you know anyone that this may resonate with, I would love if you'd share it with them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on any of the podcast platforms or streaming services that you're listening to the episode on. Leave a review, share it on social media. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.